All right, all right. Look. See the whole begging thing. Look. Do the same action, right? Look. Both of them talk about stalking and telling them, oh, he's leaving right now. He's leaving right now. Stop walking. All right. You hear the sirens afterwards. See what I'm saying? As soon as I call them out of what it is that they do, they talk about mystical manipulation, using informational warfare, or what is called intelligence warfare. Right, and they have, it's usually you'll see this within, CIA, NSA, the law enforcement, right? But what they have done is transfer those types of warfare onto the general public. Now you'll see a lot of the post office. You'll see a lot of postal workers targeting me. Why? Because I ordered clothes from, well, not clothes, but clothes actually, for my daughter. Look at them. Look. Come out wearing what? Red phone, red something in her pocket. Right? So I ordered from the children's place stuff for my daughter. What was it? I ordered from her. Just underwears and stuff like that she needs. And it's supposed to be here already. Now, they're supposed to deliver it. So I don't know why they're holding on to it. So apparently I guess they're gonna hold on to it until I go for it at the post office. So when I talk about the things that they do, holding on to our mails, again, another red shirt right there. All right, I guess I want you guys to see the color red in full effect. All right. So they always do this, where from time to time they will hold on to a package and not deliver a package because they want me to go into the post office, right? To trying to create this suspicious thing, okay? Or trying, what I'm saying, like any way to try to steal a package from me, right? So they can say, well, okay, I didn't go get the package, right? You know what I'm saying? Because you see, I want you to understand how they circumvent things, how they've been told how to do things. Whereas, they used to be outright stealing my package, destroying my package. And I was talking about how they would use certain opportunities to steal your package, severe weather or what have you. Well, they'll deliver everybody else's package except for my package. And I got to go to the post office. Or they'll damage my package to where I got to go to the post office. You know what I'm saying? But anyhow. So when I come back, I got to check my account at the children's place and see what's going on with that package. Like I said, there's always something that they do, man. It's never ended, right? And that's why I'm going to continue to expose and always expose, because it doesn't stop. They just want us to become silent, right, about what it is that they're doing, so they can continue to get away with it. Like I said, how many people have they done this to? How many people have they done this to that have, been so damaged by this, right? Not also that, but have engaged in self-deletion or attempted self-deletion, right? Not only that, but have been falsely accused and incarcerated, right? Or institutionalized because of the psychological damage they've done to those individuals. You have to understand what it is that they do and how these people are the ones that should be institutionalized. These are particularly when they're in predator law enforcement, right? Because what they're doing is violating the same Constitution that they claim when their rights are being violated. You got to understand the double-minded psychological personality traits within most people, right? And the worst part about it is that the real sociopath, psychopathic, dark triad personality types are in position of power, right? And they have to be. Why is that? Why is that? Go get this book called The Psychopath Mantra, right? And how those very few who are conditioned with this dark triad personality traits because they need to be in order to run the society, in order to do the things that they can do without any conscience. For example, lying so that we can go to war with other nations, so they can kill hundreds of thousands, even millions of human beings based off of their lies, based off of their manipulation, based off of who they are, right? Those who run corporate and have businesses that feed people, using poisons, using, to basically destroy our health, right? So that we can go to the doctor, so we can fund all these types of research to cure diseases that they create based on their psychopathic mindset. You know what I'm saying? There's these two English guys from the UK, and they feel like grabbing his crotch. Oh, that's a woman. Damn, nasty, 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 nasty. Right? She's like, as soon as I walk past, she's, grab her, put her hands between her legs. You know what I'm saying? Wow, man. I keep telling you, they when they feel emboldened, another red turning her back. All right, so let's talk about this again. Right? How do they do this? They create new forms of revenue. All right, let's talk about these two, the two guys in the UK, and they will bring chefs in to create food from around the world, particularly snacks from America and elsewhere. And the difference is stark. Like when these particularly the young kids, these young children in the UK, when they taste American snacks, you know what I'm saying? Like the sweetness is so off the chain, right? That is like the explosion of different flavors, different tastes of sweetness in their mouth. It becomes addictive, right? So they've created addiction within people within the society, particularly in America, with sugar. And sugar would lead to what? Diabetes. Sugar would lead to obesity, right? And then on top of that, all the chemicals that they put into our snacks, right? That's the whole begging theme again. I'm gonna do the same thing too. I'm doing it so you guys can see. Yeah. Look. Yeah. Pointing at you too. Fuck you. Anything they do to me gonna be done to them too. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And I'll let them know. But anyway, so they know what it is that they do. When you look at particularly the prescription drug industry and doctors prescribing Oxycontin that cause a pandemic of Caucasians, white people addicted to painkillers. Again, why do they do it? For the money, right? Money, profit over people, right? Look in the 1980s, crack cocaine. Why? For money. Because the US government could not go to Congress to fund an illegal war. Congress would not support them, unlike the Congress that we've been having for the past 2 decades, right? What did they do? The US government, particularly security agencies, CIA, DEA, and so forth, right, created a rebel faction in Nicaragua, armed them, right, by taking the money from the illegal drug trade that they allowed in and they participated in, right, and to flood the black community, right, creating crack cocaine. I always say, crack cocaine was created in the lab. It was not created in the minds of, young black men who they tried to credit as to creating crack cocaine. No, it was taught to them how to make it, right? And how that it will be a very potent addictive substance, and they brought it into the black community. Why? Money. When you have, I keep saying, they keep us poor because they know that they can manipulate us. They can manipulate people within the society. They will choose them, select them, use them, and then discard them. This is what you need to understand. So I don't hold these young brothers responsible. All right? I realize that, hey, in any society where you have poor people, you're going to have people who are going to do things in order to survive. All right? Now, my problem with that is because they didn't have enough consciousness to understand that, okay, yeah, you take that money, you put it back into the community. Right? That's what you need to do. Unlike, you look at Jay-Z, this man is a millionaire. Grew up selling drugs in the projects, and he's conditioned to where he turned his back on his community and his people because he believed that he's part of the elites. But what he doesn't quite understand is that they need him there. They need a few of these Negropeans there so they don't think of themselves as being racist, right? You know what I'm saying? Is that they do these things so that they can feel good. Not because it's better. Here you go. But money in the account and stuff. I talk about. I say these little messages. Hey, like I said, every account in America is secure. Not secure, insured. Right? Every account in America is insured. So they can try to steal my money, it's insured. All right? What are they going to try to do? Use AI to doctor a fake video of me withdrawing money? I mean, it just goes to show you what else they've been up to, right? What else they've been doing. I keep saying, whatever they do, they're just going to prove me right. Like I said, truth is my weapon. Truth is my armor. Truth is my sword, right? Their weapons are lies, deception, and manipulation, right? Mine is about truth. There is no higher power than truth, right? And it's their lies and deception that makes them angry. It's their lies and deception and manipulation that makes them upset. It's the fact that I wear an anchor around my neck celebrating life as for them being addicted to celebrating death. But yet they don't want to die. The very same deaths that they celebrate, that they worship. When it comes to dying, they don't want to die. Right? But they'll attack those of us who believe in life. Right? Who believe in the nuclear family. Right? Anyhow, before I got distracted here. Color red again. A lot of reds. Right? So when you look at the elites and who they are, they don't do things to benefit society. They do things to benefit themselves. Right? They call themselves entrepreneurs, and they call themselves also what do you call those? Philanthropists. Right? But their philanthropy is not about taking care of the underdeserved. I should say not underdeserved. The most vulnerable within the society. Right? They give money to these universities and these private institutions, right? Funding the so-called arts. But I want you to understand that the so-called funding the so-called arts is what? And if you guys know about the culture war, you know who started the culture war. You know who created the culture war, right? When they talk about starting destructive gangster music, right, and promoting it while getting rid of conscious music, right? It isn't us. Yeah, we have lyrics to, we have people who are talented to write down their experience and to write down lyrics and to tell a story, whether it be true or made up. They had that talent, but they did not have the economic means to do what? To do what? To create the process in which they can print that music, right? Market that music and sell that music. They didn't have the distribution centers to do that. Even now, black people don't own streaming services, right? We don't own it. So again, using our talent to make money, to profit. So my question is, Jay-Z had own title, but he sold it. Again, why? Because, you know, the more billions Negropeans believe that they can accumulate, that makes them closer to whiteness, white billionaires, white elites. Why would you want to be in something that despises you? Right? So you can look at them and say, look, I'm just like you. No, you're supposed to be different. It's no wonder why we have no black leaders. It's no wonder why going forward our children don't want to be leaders, good leaders. Right? So when I talk about these things, this is something that they have engaged in for a long time. Eradicating black leadership, particularly black male leadership, because they don't want black male leadership. Right? What they want, look. What are you walking across the street here for, man? Oh, you want me to go right there? Okay, I'll go right there. I guess he wants me to walk in between the vehicle. Look. Again, I'll walk there. You want me to see the color pink? That's fine. I'll follow you as I expose everything that y'all do. Hilarious. You know, when I shaking the change in his pocket. All right, when I talk about what are the things that they do and how they do it, you know what I'm saying? This is what I talk about. To be able to show these things, and to let you guys see and explain it as they do it. All right? Everything they do is orchestrated and planned. And getting those within the society to participate in it, committing a crime, believing that they're going to get away with it because those in positions of authority have recruited them. All right? And again, go look at the Stanley Milgram experiment. It's a perfect example of how those in positions of authority will use that authority to get people to commit crimes or even murder, and to get away with it under the guise of authority. Okay? But like I keep saying, there's a thing called the Nuremberg Code, meaning that you have an obligation as a human being, whether it be the president, the CIA, or anybody else, any leader who tell you to commit an act against another person or a group of people that is detrimental to those people, that you have a right as a human being to say no. All right, so yeah, they're not going to get away with this. They believe that they can, but they're not. You hear the sirens now? I was talking about when I expose certain things, you always hear the sirens, right? Because it's true. What you looking at? Gotta go. What you looking at? What you looking at? What you looking at? What you looking at? Anyhow, talk to you guys in the next video. Hear that? Yeah. Okay. Talk to you guys in the next video.